The desert knows her name. It whispers it to the dunes, soft as dawnlight, deep as faith. Every grain remembers the echo of her laughter, how her shadow danced upon the golden skin of sand. The falcons circle high, their eyes tracing the wind's memory, for even the wind once carried the scent of her soul. She walked not as others walk, but as silence moves through prayer, as moonlight glides upon water, as love hides within the heart of time. Her name is written in the curves of every dune, etched by the hands of eternity, guarded by the fire of the sun. When night falls, the stars lean low to listen, their shimmer telling stories of her unseen grace. The desert does not forget, for its heart beats slow, ancient, endless, like the pulse of devotion itself. She is both mirage and truth, both distance and nearness, both longing and peace. Her footsteps bloom into patterns only the desert can read, a secret language of love, loss, and return. When the wind sighs, it says her name again, not in sorrow, but in remembrance, for she was the dream that taught silence to speak, the vision that taught sand to sing. Even the camels pause, their eyes softened by the hush, as if they, too, have seen her reflection in the sun's last breath. The oasis waits for her return, its palms trembling with hope, its waters shimmering with memory. She belongs to no one, and yet she belongs to everything: the sky, the stars, the breath between prayers. Her beauty was not in her face, but in the patience of her soul, in how she stood before the storm and smiled. The desert bows before her, not in worship, but in recognition, for it knows what love eternal feels like. It knows her name, and through every dawn and dusk, it speaks it softly again, 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 until even time itself listens, until even silence weeps, until every grain of sand becomes a verse of her story. The desert knows her name, and that is enough. The desert still breathes her memory in every dawn that rises silent. Her soul awakens with the wind folded gently inside the sands of time. She was not a fleeting vision. She was the promise of eternity, the stillness between two heartbeats, the prayer that lingers after the lips are still. Every grain of sand has carried her essence once. Every gust of wind has whispered her story softly, so no one would forget. She walked through the desert barefoot, unafraid of the Heat, because her heart was fire itself, a flame that warmed the coldest night. When she smiled, the dunes seemed to shift in rhythm as if bowing to her light. When she wept, the clouds gathered to hide her tears, turning them into rain. For the thirsty earth, the falcons remember her gaze, steady, calm, unbroken, as if the universe itself was reflected in her eyes. The desert carries her name in the shape of the dunes, in the dance of the wind, in the song of every wandering soul who dares to love beyond reason. She belonged to no man, yet every man who saw her felt as though he had met truth itself. Her beauty was not her face, it was her spirit, the way she listened to silence, the way she forgave the wind. The nomads still speak of her, their fires burning low at midnight. They tell of the woman who walked through storms and left behind calm skies. They say she spoke to stars, and the stars answered in light. They say her laughter could turn sorrow to song, and they say the desert, once lonely, found its heart in her shadow. She was the poet of the unseen, her verses made of silence and sand. She wrote upon the sky with her breath, and every sunset became her signature. When the night arrives, the moon still bends low to see her, as if missing an old friend. Its light spreads over the dunes like the memory of her touch. Time moves on, but she does not fade. She lingers in the shimmer of mirage, in the hush before dawn, in the sigh of a traveler who feels her nearness but cannot name it. The desert keeps her secrets. It guards her story in golden folds, burying it deeper than sorrow, higher than hope. Sometimes the wind grows soft, and those who listen hear her name, not spoken, but carried through eternity. For her name is not a sound, it is a feeling, the calm after prayer, the peace after pain, the breath before love is spoken. Even the stars, those witnesses of ages, know her by that name. They blink slower when it's whispered, as if remembering her light. The desert does not mourn her, it celebrates her silence, for she is not gone. She has become the desert itself. Every ripple in the sand is the curve of her smile. Every whisper of the breeze is her unseen voice. Every sunrise is her rebirth. And when the last traveler crosses the land. When all stories are told, the desert will still speak her name softly, endlessly, as if love itself never learned to die. For the desert knows her name, and it will always remember, not for a moment, but forever.